So quite a shit week, minus 6 hours. So let's just go over the ops. I have BTCS. Not the biggest fan of the invert curving, but quite nice level. Now starting to perk up. Unfortunately, not really on high volume, but not necessarily bad today. I think it was a bit over 200% at the open, like right around 300, and then it dropped. I definitely forced the small continuation. The breakout I think was nice. Raised low of the day. Small continuation was forced. Like the 1 minute is just shit as hell. Plus, not the most Arval, as I said. So a bit first there, so that I cut. This was a 1 hour trade, this was a half hour trade, and then I let the break go to like 590, 589, which was until here. Definitely didn't want to hold long. It's an ever sinker. You can see on the monthly, it's just basically constantly getting reverse splits. But I think this was an alright trade. Maybe could have gone lower for half an hour on this, but I think it was quite alright. Still very early on in the 60. I like the mini ABCD setup. I like that we kind of regained control over the MAs and had like a mini test right before the break, although definitely not very clean. Then I have DKNG dropping quite a lot. I'm not quite sure what the news is. Oh yeah, I know. Some sort of competitor getting good news, so not directly related to DKNG, but like a bit of a crossover there. But seemed to react quite badly. Volume was quite well sustained even on day 2, and then we just started a bit of consolidation, not really being able to buy back up, and then we broke down from that very nice and clean 60-minute level, and I loved how tight we got before breaking down. So that was, I really loved this stock for a continuation. Unfortunately, there were tons of scattered levels, but we had a bit of a window before that. So I took a risk on entering a bit late into it, so ideally should have entered for a breakdown here. Definitely could have gotten a big one there, but I didn't, and I paid the price. I missed out on a very big move, but I tried to enter a small continuation later when it got like super tight back into the 9 for the break of low of day, had some volume increase. 5 minute was quite early on, just second CC after bouncing off, and we had an IC after the first CC, so a 3 bar play even. 15 minute was acceptable, I think. The pullback was from 35, 33, 10-ish, so that was 196, 60, so that's a bit under 30%, so definitely a bit risky, but I think still tradable. VPA was not anything extra, but it was nice. I traded it 1 hour, maybe should have gone lower in that, but yeah. And this baby, I wanted to say that as soon as I saw that it wasn't working out with the low of day break, reclaimed and then not working out again. Maybe I could have got it here. Not 100% sure about that, because I had like a really fucking good risk reward with this entry and stop like 25, and down to the first level it's like 95, so 4 to 1. But yeah, still I think half an hour would have been better, especially in this area right after a big 60-minute extension candle. Then I have Poet. I think was a really great stock. I love the breakout area from here. I'm not sure if this is visible on my OBS, but I think it is. Anyways, so 60-minute, a bit of extension looking there. 5-minute, I really hated the dip on the 5 and 15. Before we started rising, we put in a shooting star. Generally not an issue, but the 1 minute was just like super fucking ugly, so definitely should not have traded either this or this, and even though both were half an hour, and I got both at midway to my stop, and I lost half an hour net, it's just really not something that I should have traded, especially into the 728 level, which wasn't really an outstanding level, but it definitely was not nice. Verizon, so a large sell-off on new CEO appointment because it was facing a lot of challenges, so that was good enough for me. Large sell-off, and then a candle that was even like I think less than in the bottom quartile of that candle, so that's 70, and this whole thing is, oh yeah, just 25% of the sell-off candles range. quite nice bottom on the 60-minute chart. A bit of extension from the start off zone into the sell-off zone, so that is gonna be a bit challenging there, but it was quite nice with the reverse ABCD on the 1 minute, so I used the reverse ABCD stop as a stop and then entered in the breakdown. I think was quite alright, but I'm thinking based on recent experience that I probably should not move my stop loss below a breakdown level and vice versa for a long. So quite alright. Not sure what the RVL was, but definitely under 200%. Was, yeah, it was 300% at the open, I know that, but it was sort of like gradually, quite fastly dropping down. 41.11 was the level that it stopped at. It had like scattered levels, nothing really outstanding except for this 40.69. $1 ATR, so didn't even quite get there. Yeah, but it did fall off rather nicely. So this was the day that I played it, and after that we had like a huge sell-off day. So another thing that was risky about it was playing it right at the edge of the range, but maybe that was like another advantage, because had I swinged it, I probably could have gotten like a big massive trade like we're about to have now, because we were breaking down from this range, and I think running the other range using the initial drop low as a target could be a good one until 39.28, so I'm gonna keep track of that and update the trade, because yeah, I really should be thinking about swinging these breaks, especially when they're this big and multiple setups line up, like a 3-bar play and a big range breakdown. Even though the levels are scattered, if there's momentum, I think with a good entry I can just survive it and go for the bigger swing. BTQ, not necessarily bad, but a bit untested idea. Bottoms are right, flat bottoms are right. Traded a tad bit early, didn't really want to get like a huge freaking risk reward. I think stop was right. Yeah, maybe like as soon as it turned I could have like cut it a break even, and then on a breakdown again I could have entered maybe with a tighter stop below like or above here. After that it worked. Yeah, it was a bit extended, like a downtrending channel, but definitely not anything that wasn't sustainable. I just wouldn't expect that big of a drop as compared to like a sideways channel, but still it could have gotten it. I think the daily section was pretty dang alright here. So yeah, I just a bit fumbled on the execution side of things there. Disney scattered levels, not a clean breakdown area, already violated. Pre-market had like, I don't know, basically a spread up to my stop here, so pretty shitty stock that I should not have traded in pre-market at all with this spread especially. Then let's say we'd opened, I could have gotten an entry there, but it's still, the daily's too shitty, 60's too shitty I think as well. And I hate how, well, I wouldn't call it initiation or footing support right around here, but it kind of was, so I was still above that, and I'm just not quite sure I really want to be trading into that, especially I'm guessing that this was like the high volume node right around the top and the bottom of my mark levels. So yeah, definitely a tough one that I should not have traded. INTC, nothing super interesting here. I'm probably gonna like go with DMFs. Pushed up for a nice VP on the 1 minute into level, fake broke that. Didn't really have, I think had like just sub 100% RVol, like 90 something percent. Very rangy choppy price action in pre-market, so I loved that. Like test high, test low, then a double bottom, then an overreaction up to the top with very nice VP as I previously mentioned, but I kind of like forgot about the trade because I don't know why, I think I got like super freaking mad, and I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna like go with DMFs, and I just forget about it, but should have had an all-out exit here because the daily was quite bullish, and we were in the upper half of the range, and we didn't really have any volume coming down, so definitely should have been an all-out there. with a nightmare like 2 bars instead of the -1 that I got from the, oh sorry, no, not -1, but a 0 bar that I got. Serve, so a bit stretched. I think the daily was quite nice with this breakout. Volume was like super freaking good, so that's why I dared to play it a bit further. 15-minute did have a reset, not the nicest, still quite looking extended, so like this is the case where even though there was a reset, I'm not quite sure that it should have counted that much. 5-minute, first leg, second leg, and I'm playing for the third leg. Also risky, also playing into a level which was the initial peak high of this entire range. Also quite risky. I played half-hour for it a bit of a scalp. I wanted to play until like 18 because I thought that maybe we could achieve that. 60-minute was quite alright, not super late on it. Yeah, we're on the verge about this. Not a blunder for sure, but maybe could have skipped. SLDP. So wanted to play this for a PB day on DMF, but basically we were inside the first candles range and we just put in like 2 half ICs. So even though it worked, I fumbled the second trade really bad. I really should not have traded something after a fake break without a double top first, but I probably would have gotten in here, would have gotten a stop out as well, and then it worked for the third time. So yeah, this just goes to show that trading the wrong shit on the daily can lead to a bit more erratic price action intraday. Then I had ONDS. So we have an upward channel, a UTED, getting a bit extended, putting in a big shooting star and down ranging for a couple days, still maintaining some gap between the 9 and price. Getting a reverse ABCD in pre-market, that's quite nice. We have a 1, 2, 3 touch level and basically one from under on the 60-minute chart, so that's very nice. Downtrending channel here, not a lot of distance between break line and that, so put my stop above high of day, entered on the breakdown. Not the cleanest setup either, and I realized that at the open, so instead of a 1 hour I trimmed it and went in for a half hour entry, but yet again moved stop below the break line, paid the price, and then it went in my direction for I think a 2-1. I got like super shitty RR on this, and it just seemed a bit unrealistic that we'd get to 950, which was the fair value gaps open as well as the psychological level. But yeah, so I'm just 9. It just seemed a bit too nearby. This just seemed a bit too off. So that's another other reason that I put my stop to break even. But I don't know. Still, not even sure where it ended up. Big meltdown. 920 is where we ended up. So yeah, could have gotten like I don't know, another hour, half an hour on that. So yeah, these were the week's trades that I took, and these are the ones that I didn't. So just gonna go through these. Very nice breakdown. I love these when we break out above like lower highs. Very clean. Because of that I could have traded. Didn't really have a lot of RFL, but it's like a very hot volume period, so like 200% in that, or 200-ish% in that even is like super freaking great. We're running a range on the weekly. 3 more play, 5 minutes, back to 9, playing candle 2. Get a super fucking clean downward trend line, lined up and tightened up before the actual break with a hammer, holding 9 and 20. Very clean, easy entry, easy stop loss, and easy targets based off daily's actual highs. Not sure how far we went here. This was 10:06. So the high was 558. So yeah, basically here the daily candle was extended enough. 60 was a bit away here, overextended, so definitely should not have expected a big move, but I think this was more than realistic, this 550-ish target. NBIS, so a bit of a rollover-ish setup. I'm not quite sure it's worth mentioning. OPED, very choppy, not the cleanest levels, had some shit below. I just didn't want to take it. Next day rolled over much better. Then I have Boney, same exact shit, not super extended. I don't quite like the break but barely shit for rollovers, but it does tend to work. So I don't know, maybe could start incorporating it into my strategy, but don't wanna do anything too hastily. The BLDS A plus fucking daily for a rollover, but just like it's super shitty price action, so I just took it like Sim, but worked out quite well, I think. Closed that low of day, which I'm not even sure what it was. It was, yeah, $4, so somewhere around here. Still letting me around like 2-3 hours. Lace. I think this is some sort of like Seals Corp or something. Lace and TSS partner to develop medium post-quantum secure solutions for U.S. government and defense agencies. So had some news along with a very nice, as I said again, and previously lower high breakout, which I'm loving. Recently lined up to that and couldn't break, so extra points for that. Very freaking early on in the trade, but we do have a bit of a window, so that's clean. We broke out of the major break line area, and we only have to deal with 524 now, but a very nice volume increase here. A plus pattern intraday, catching up with 5 minute 9. 15 minutes not the cleanest by any means, but just look at this. We have basically a 60 point consolidation and then a 100 point pullback, so I'm not sure in what world that doesn't count as a solid pullback. The percentage was like 98 on height and 42, so that was a 40% pullback. I mean, I don't know, I just don't really give a fuck at the 15 minute and how it looks. With something like this, VPA was quite nice as well, rising on the up moves, declining on the down moves, rising again and breaking the previous peaks each time, and then it got a bit too overextended here. 5 minute, I can see peaking quite a lot. Probably would have cut somewhere around here at 5 minute previous bar, low trail or 20 loss, basically the same areas. So yeah, that's that. Big Bear AI, I don't know, didn't really like it, but the 6 minute had a very tight pattern. We had quite a nice flag, and I especially love it when we flag inside of a previous daily swing highs range. Not quite sure how to describe that. So that was a ride. Could have traded just a break here. Anything else would have been over excessive, especially that we had like 200% RVOL. Because of that, I probably would not have targeted far 50 cent ATR, but we had some nice levels in 802 and a 50-ish, so could have just partial at those guys. Probably not a lot at 802. I don't know, I just didn't think that it would be a small break, or don't think. And even if it is, then I'm good with taking a mostly break-even stop if it stops me out after the 802. So okay, low, quite a nice breakout level. Not a lot of RVOL, like 200%, so that was quite off. We did have a nice tightening on the 60-minute chart, then broke out, made a pennant that, or downtrend line that I probably would not have entered on because it's very not clean, but it went for the break. Quite nice VPA on here too. 10 buck ATR, which would have given me 138, 148 until the ATR was fulfilled. I'm not quite sure if this is 200% based on of the 60 minute though. Like, I think it was higher earlier. 15 minute playing second CC, 5 minute, quite, I don't know, but yet again, we had, I think, just barely under or right about at the verge of a solid pullback in terms of percentages and lengths. But yeah, I think I'm perfectly fine with a skip here. And that was the week.